help me holding on, 'cause I still feel your hello, hello. I know that I'm living with ghosts.
NXT Stand and Deliver.
Normally, WWE has an opening video package for their premium live events, but considering the fact that this event is taking place mere hours before WrestleMania 40 Saturday, ain't nobody got time for that. We gotta get through this event without exhausting the fans who are about to handle the cold weather later tonight. It's a sin because NXT Stand and Deliver should really be on its own day. Metaphor randomly being the hosts of Stand and Deliver because there is literally nothing else for them to do today. Wait a minute, what was the point of bringing out Metaphor if WWE was just going to cut away from them almost immediately during their entrance? This guy in the green sweater is clearly here because he lost a bet, or he partied all night long after the endless Hall of Fame ceremony and realized that he still had to attend this event before WrestleMania 40 took place. WWE really loves to show their audience what it looks like to be on psychedelic drugs. Don't do drugs, everyone. Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin are the NXT Tag Team Champions, but unfortunately, they cannot enter the arena on their usual motorcycles due to there being a small cramped stage area.
Can I say it?
Booker T apparently has to ask permission before saying one of his catchphrases. When has that ever been an issue, dude? Pre-match assault.
There goes Nathan!
Bron Breakker was barely knocked over by Nathan Frazier the first time and immediately got back up. One would think that would alert Bron's awareness into the action going on, but he still ends up falling for Nathan's second suicide dive.
What a moment, Vic, here stands.
Nathan Frazier had the chance at connecting an amazing spinning tornado DDT onto Baron Corbin, but then chose to land on his feet and go for a standard DDT, which did not look as effective.
I got it in there.
Nathan was apparently supposed to land on his feet from that backflip, but unfortunately didn't time it right and jump before Baron could throw his leg, which led to him wiping out on the canvas.
Big kick in.
While Bron Breakker is fired up in this match, Baron Corbin climbs the ropes and puts up the one taunt, reminding everyone that he's the last person to pin Roman Reigns in a singles match. Best to keep that bragging fact alive while you still can.
You defended the Intercontinental title more than once at WrestleMania.
Wade Barrett hasn't immediately kicked Vic Joseph's ass for reminding him that he defended and lost the Intercontinental Championship at 2 separate WrestleMania events.
Booker, you challenged Triple H for the heavyweight title.
And also, Booker T hasn't kicked Vic Joseph's ass for reminding him of that controversial World Heavyweight Championship loss from WrestleMania 19. Vic's just asking for it, isn't he?
Nice Spanish fly!
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, getting flipped in the air like that causes Bron Breakker to react as though he just suffered a concussion when his head was perfectly safe from harm.
In this kind of form, the Wolf Dog's losing those titles.
I gotta take a sin off because Nathan Frazier overshot his chance at the moonsault, which caused Baron not to catch him at the right time. But then those two improvised on the spot and managed to do something to make up for the botch. You love to see it.
Frazier, first to the top.
Seth Rollins goes for the Phoenix Splash but never connects a cliche. Nathan must have learned from him.
Talk about these two more. Was it Braun who needed Baron, or was it...
Axiom literally just took a deadly powerbomb from Baron Corbin from a fall where he was nearly 7 feet in the air, yet that powerbomb was somehow ineffective as Axiom popped right back up as though nothing happened. I'd be more impressed with that super kick catch on Bron Breakker had Axiom not just no-sold a frickin' powerbomb.
Taking it! Frankensteiner!
It's already amazing to see Bron Breakker connect a Frankensteiner, but this time was even more amazing because he was already falling back before he actually jumped in the air. And he made sure to catch himself on the way down so that his head would not hit the canvas. All that in less than 1 second. Bron Breakker is freaking amazing at everything he does. But also, Baron Corbin was never truly hit by the fallen Axiom, so he just fell down simply for the joy of falling down. Wrestlers love to fall down.
No longer standing!
Axiom is no longer standing because Baron Corbin delivered. Okay, I'm sorry.
Beat Frazier, trying to change.
Bron Breakker tried to catch Nathan Frazier with a backflip cutter, but due to Nathan already having the high ground advantage, the ladder was too high up and out of reach on the way down.
Deliver. Move it.
Across the street at Lincoln Financial Field, Seth Rollins is pouting in jealousy because Nathan Frazier managed to do in one match what Seth couldn't do in pretty much all the years of his career. It was a great match, but the ending is pretty much moot due to the fact that Axiom and Nathan Frazier end up winning the NXT Tag Team Championship literally 3 days later. What was the point of having them lose clean at Stand and Deliver if they were just going to win the titles a few days later? Jakara Jackson is still licking on that same lollipop she carried with her to the stage half an hour ago when the show began? Or is she just craving a lot of candy today? Make sure to brush your teeth, ladies and gentlemen. There was no way in hell that Obafemi hurt Oro Mensah with that soft door opening. Obviously, they were going for the getting smacked by the door for comedy trick, but it didn't work here. Realistically, Oro would have simply stumbled. That giant Knuckles mascot in the background. We positive this is not Uncle Howdy related, because I no longer trust anything in the background as a mere coincidence. If only Dijak could ratio the creative team, he would actually be winning the NXT North American Championship instead of being the wrestler who constantly challenges for the title on a PLE but never wins it. Graphic trying to promote the Knuckles series accidentally makes it look like Knuckles has become the new NXT North American Champion and will defend the title in this now fatal 4-way match. Plot twist and probably far more entertaining than the actual Knuckles series itself. I knew we should have let Rob Van Dam into the building last night.
And he's stronger than the pair.
Yeah, if I were Josh Briggs and Dijak, I wouldn't try to do a backflip like I'm Nathan Frazier earlier. Dijak, like Nathan, landed flat on his stomach, meanwhile Josh nearly broke his damn neck. We're only 10 seconds into the match too.
North American champion by
Dijak tries to knock Obafemi out of the ring and ended up getting ratioed by the ring itself. Even the wrestling ring knows a Dijak and his famous ratios.
Have you ever seen someone with the strength of Obafemi?
Yes, multiple times, but because we're on the air, let's just pretend that we've never seen wrestlers the size of Obafemi unleash their strength.
Again, that's a man who doesn't need any sort of weapon.
Vic Joseph says that Reyes Obafemi literally utilized the weapon against Josh Briggs. Poor timing and poor choice of words. 3 wrestlers, 3 crazy sins taken off the counter for that undeniably scary moment. I was about to send Josh for stopping Dijak from a potentially sin-removing moment, only for Josh to create a brand new one. This is awesome.
Slam, both men into the
So if Dijak and Josh Briggs both successfully pinned Obafemi right here, does that mean they become the inaugural NXT North American Tag Team Champions or something?
He might stay down to give these two.
Very impressive time kick by Josh Briggs to the Violent Dijak. This triple threat has a lot of meat in it, but they are doing anything except beat each other's meat. Wait, fuck. Let me try that again. Nah, too late. Let's take a sit off and hope that nobody will remind me that I said that.
Right now.
Both men teetering.
With how long Josh Briggs was typing up the clothesline, it really makes you wonder why Dijak didn't just jump backward off the top rope so that he could be safe from harm. After all, Josh wasn't really holding him in place to the point where it was impossible to escape.
Dive.
There are somehow rope breaks in a match that has no disqualifications. There goes that logic again.
But look at the strength.
Dijak could have just chokeslammed Josh Briggs right then and there, and it would have been far more effective. Due to him walking with Josh in the air, the impact had lessened.
Dijak, turn it on.
The fact that anyone at 6'8" can hit a Canadian destroyer is amazing on its own. Josh Briggs also did a great job ensuring his own safety as well as Dijak's. Here are 2 more sins taken off the counter for the safety measures, and the awesome Canadian destroyer connected. That takes balance, strength, timing, the whole shebang. And these 3 wrestlers made sure that everything was done safely and properly. Everyone else competing tonight might as well pack their bags and head on over to the stadium because they don't stand a chance at this point.
To finally become
The fact that Dijak sacrificed this pinfall to allow Obafemi to take the moonsault from Josh Briggs is excellent ring awareness. He knows Josh would land before he had a chance to pin Oba, so he didn't risk his own well-being.
I agree with that.
It is apparently bullshit for Josh Briggs to stop a pinfall from taking place by yanking the referee out of the ring. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to save your chances of winning a championship in pro wrestling, guys. Quit crying. Oro Mensah is somehow still hurt from the door that didn't even hit him that much. That was almost half an hour ago, too. Is he really that sensitive? And because Noam Dar's arm was placed behind his back, he's going to be in a cast all day long, given Metaphor have a lot of sensitivity added to them. The fact that nearly all entrance themes made by Def Rebel have to have the wrestler's name announced first, otherwise nobody would know who the fuck is coming out next.
just 1.
What?
But 2.
What?
We got Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett arguing amongst themselves, and then you got Booker T adding in so many whats like he's trying to be Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it's pissing me off.
Can I get one from?
Turning your backs on the heel set of wrestlers, what did Thea Hale's team think was going to happen here?
You cannot do that.
It's fired up and whoa!
Thea Hale likely would have connected with JC Jane had she not channeled her inner Ultimate Warrior on the ropes, which gave her bad luck.
Come on, man. JC.
Will you two just shut the fuck up with your arguing already? I can't tell who's saying what anymore. Holy shit!
Every time you turn around, she talks about, hey, look.
Thea Hale manages to slip underneath Izzy Dame, but then loses all her momentum to get to her corner before Izzy could grab her again.
Let's keep the action. Vic, you've got to.
Izzy Dame never even came close to Thea Hale's knee, yet her nose was still somehow hit by the knee. Not a good start so far, and that's a shame too because we just had 2 kick-ass matches prior to this one. Let's not lose our momentum here.
This is talking a lot of sense, at least.
Kehlani Jordan looked to perform a kippa but then changed her mind at the last second even though she had all the time and momentum to do so. In the last match, we had 3 powerhouses not even hesitate to do something crazy, and in the next match, we got 6 women refusing to do anything crazy.
Talk about it.
And this is why the women really need to work on what they wear to the ring. Damn wardrobe malfunctions. Vic Joseph must have been rejoicing about Keanu Reeves joining the Sonic franchise as the voice of Shadow that he forgot where he was for a moment.
She showed her true colors.
Izzy Dame took all the time in the world to prepare Kalani Jordan to be tossed into the corner and still failed to connect it properly. I am really facepalming in this match because we were doing so good with this event up until then.
Time for Fallon Henley. She's not gonna.
Fallon Henley missed her kick to Izzy Dame's head, and the missed kick caused Izzy to react too late to something that never even got her. That's a double sin. This match is poorly coordinated and absolutely terrible to watch.
Powerhouse behind her.
Why would Izzy Dame be upset or mad that Duke Hudson grabbed a fallen Thea Hale? What, did she expect Chase University to just ignore their fellow teammate and let her fall to her demise?
Ooh, nice stunner.
How do you not call that?
Let's just throw in another 10 sins. We have completely lost our momentum from the first two matches here.
Gonna like what she sees.
Thea Hale has been trying to get her hands on JC Jane all match long, but the moment she has JC right where she wants her, she takes all the time in the world not putting her hands on JC Jane. Don't do that. I kid you not, WWE literally plays the video package for Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley's match at WrestleMania not once, but twice during this event. It is awesome to see the women get their own version of the NXT North American Championship, but does the design have to look literally identical to the men's version? It is amazing that NXT is going back to showing wrestlers appearing in the crowd like the old days of NXT TakeOver, the perfect example of giving the fans a small taste of what's coming soon to NXT. I get that the Fallout video game is the sponsor for this NXT Women's title match, but when you see the logo plastered on the LED boards across the arena, it makes it look like the show is actually titled NXT Fallout. They just unintentionally created a better PLE name.
Because immediately Roxanne Perez looked at the bullseye, the tape that's out.
Roxanne Perez shoves Lyra Valkyria right onto her injured arm, and that causes Lyra to take a step or two backward. But Lyra using half the force of her injured arm causes Roxanne to go sailing halfway across the ring somehow.
With that big bullseye.
Roxanne hardly bounced off the ropes yet could somehow knock Lyra down. That and Lyra was already started to fall before Roxanne could actually hit her.
And deliver ever in the NXT Women's title on the line.
What in the hell just happened there? There was no logical way that Roxanne Perez would get thrown out of the ring by Lyra Valkyria at that distance. Just in case you thought this match was for a chance to be in future Fallout video games instead of the NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne Perez wasting precious time taunting the crowd when she could be stomping on Lyra Valkyria's arm. And with how long Roxanne is taken, literally nothing is stopping Lyra from getting her arm out of the position it's in and tripping Roxanne.
What an afternoon.
I gotta say, this is sad to think about. There are over 16,000 plus fans packing the entirety of the Wells Fargo Center, and yet it feels like half the arena is empty with how much silence there is. This is why booking NXT on the same day as WrestleMania Saturday is a bad idea, as the fans are choosing to reserve their energy for later in the night.
Valkyria though, and so much damage done to the arm.
Well, that was poorly coordinated. Because Lyra did not jump at the right time, Roxanne had to pretend to be off balance to pass the time while she waited and watched her the whole time. I might just give that a double sin now that I think more about it.
And now coming back up top. Now
Lyra Valkyria is fired up, so fired up that she's connecting the weakest clotheslines I've ever seen.
duplex with a bridge. Count.
Discount the Young Bucks.
First you don't succeed, you try.
That catchphrase doesn't really work here since Lyra tried to do that same move and it increased the pain in her arm. So when she tries again the second time, the arm should really be in more intense pain instead of healing itself miraculously.
Being on her behalf.
Roxanne Perez has the opportunity to perform a high-risk maneuver on Lyra Valkyria from the top rope and chooses to slap her calmly, which of course does not end well for her.
Challenger to the outside, hit it.
I would remove a sin for that tornado DDT on the floor, but this scene is so distracting by the presence of the Vault Boy who got impaled by Lyra's head on the fallout. Oh.
Going up, looking for pump room, another. Oh.
It's a premium live event. Staying down for a 3 count on the first attempt of a finisher is illegal by this point.
And we know that Ava was talking about referee.
Even long after Tatum Paxley had made her appearance, Vic Joseph is still carrying on a conversation and somehow didn't notice her until she actually appeared on the apron.
To use some discretion, but oh!
The moment I saw Lyra run into Tatum by accident, that's the moment Roxanne Perez can be crowned the new NXT Women's Champion. We're going in that direction once again.
Locked in deep.
While the majority of the match was extremely sinful, the ending was amazing. Roxanne and Lyra did a great job with the Poison Rana, the Pop Rocks, and the Crossface submission, so I'll take a sin off for a fantastic ending. I hate to say this, but on NXT's biggest premium live event of the year, the NXT Championship match feels like it's just there to fill time. Thanks in point to Tony D'Angelo not standing a chance to defeat Ilya Dragunov when everyone figures Trick Williams is inevitably going to dethrone him. Also, I know that we need Trick and Carmelo Hayes to have their main event match, but it really feels like they should be the two challengers for this, given both men have tried to become NXT champion during the build-up to Stand and Deliver. Then this title match wouldn't feel like a filler match. I'm just saying. Yas.
How's he gonna grapple a suplex?
Just as Vic Joseph asked that question, Ilya Dragunov responds with the answer. That was oddly convenient. What do you bet Tony D'Angelo had a lot of fun getting suplexed out of the ring like that and said, let's do that again, which led to this moment.
The championship make you about 30% better.
Who the fuck told you that? I've seen champions with less ability win the titles and then proceed to get their asses kicked by the challengers on the first defense.
Dragunov getting the squeeze on his hand.
Well, that was an awkward situation that just happened there. Tony D'Angelo punches the air, causing Ilya Dragunov to slowly fall and hurt his hand.
By D'Angelo, what he went for.
Here's to hoping the injured hand will also make Ilya Dragunov realize that performing a 619 on the air just to turn himself around is not going to help him take advantage nor look cooler than he already does.
Right now, he look like he's in the bed.
Now, it was understandable to see Tony D'Angelo fall out of the ring like he did, but Ilya Dragunov wouldn't logically turn around and fall on the ropes. I get that we want to make cool moments, but they don't look as cool when it logically doesn't make sense.
WrestleMania weekend of all Dragunov. Now he's
Ilya Dragunov's hand has been targeted for practically the entire match by Tony D'Angelo. The first chop doesn't hurt Ilya, but the second one does. I guess he just remembered that he's supposed to be selling the hand injury. Too late, already spotted you. Ilya Dragunov couldn't even swing himself on the rope without falling over due to the hand injury. But when he holds the entire body weight of Tony D'Angelo on his shoulders while Tony is literally ripping at his injured hand, no problem whatsoever.
suplex. And he does.
You have an injured hand! How the hell are you able to do this? Much less hang on after you suplexed him the first time! Throughout this entire interaction, Tony D'Angelo could have easily gotten out of the predicament he's in, but chooses not to. Not making bright decisions for a guy who's got an opponent with one functioning hand. Sometimes.
Tony D is
Ilya Dragunov got inspired by that John Cena prank call video and turned this into a spit-swapping makeout match. This just got weird.
Pick up a lot of momentum. It just got
Well, that's what happens when you have the chance to take out your opponent but choose to run additional unnecessary laps on the ropes. More bad decisions.
super overhead belly to
What?
Dragunov.
I don't know who put an additional microphone on the announce desk, but whoever did, thank you for doing that because the sound of the table collapsing was badass.
H-bomb.
The ending was amazing because Ilya Dragunov made sure to remain on top of Tony D'Angelo so that the pinfall could happen, injured hand and all. It's just a shame the only good parts were the last 2 minutes. In a 17-minute match, that should never be the case. It's like a movie that sucked, but the ending was fantastic.
You went from being my hype man to believing your own hype.
Wrestler has a manager and then gets jealous when said manager becomes a talented and more popular wrestler cliche.
So Booker, I ask you.
Haha, the timekeeper and ring announcer basically said, fuck you Vic, no one wants to hear what you want to ask Booker. Waited until that precise moment to begin introducing Carmelo Hayes. I know I've said this before and got heat for it, but can Booker T at least be in sync with what he's saying? Because the more he does it, the more off sync he becomes. At least Wade Barrett was entertaining when he did his parody version at Vengeance Day.
this industry has got that.
Considering Carmelo Hayes has been jealous of how much of a great athlete Trick Williams turned into, why would he make the mistake of immediately turning his back on him 10 seconds in? If you're jealous, then you also know that Trick don't play no shit.
Trick is not a wrestler.
Booker T kisses Trick's ass throughout the beat of his entire entrance, but when the bell rings to start the match, his demeanor changes to Trick is not a wrestler, which of course is the ultimate bullshit of the situation we're in. The referee is following Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams into the crowd when he should be in the ring starting the 10 count. Or if he doesn't want to do his job, he should at least be in the ring pretending to care about what's going on.
First the match out, he's getting fired.
Wade Barrett actually thinks the referee will get fired from his job for doing his job correctly. What an idiot. Carmelo Hayes misses his kick on Trick Williams, who moves out of the way, yet the sound of the leg connecting is still heard. Awkward.
Brown springboard this time.
Even if Trick Williams didn't counter, there was no way in hell that Carmelo Hayes would have connected his crossbody or whatever the hell he was planning there. That was easy.
Showcasing he's not a sidekick anymore.
Get it? Because he's actually connecting sidekicks on Carmelo Hayes? Ha ha. Fuck you.
He was able to break it. No, my.
The referee gets knocked over at the crucial point in the match cliche. Something had to happen because this personal feud was feeling less and less personal with every passing moment. And this is the main event too. Apparently getting hit by a chair causes you to climb yourself back up and bounce back down every time.
That's
This main event sadly has all the cliches plus some, and it's a real shame that a feud that was building up for over half a year, based on who attacked Trick Williams, led to a sadly poor main event at NXT's biggest show of the year. I really hate saying that, but this was quite a letdown.